Her Invisible Leash, written by Reese The Quiller, narrated by Azoghn. Dedication. For the ones who know their power, for the ones who move unseen, yet control everything, for the ones who walk with confidence, even when no one understands them. This is for you. Chapter 1, the first thread. There's a moment right before they lose themselves when they realize I own them. I can see in their eyes a flicker of hesitation, a breath caught in their throat, a silent plea they don't fully understand yet. It's not love, not yet. Lust is the lie they tell themselves, the safety net they cling to before the fall. He thinks this is his idea. That's the best part. I lean back in my seat, crossing my legs slowly, watching the man in front of me unravel. His confidence is slipping, but he doesn't realize it yet. He grips the glass a little too tightly, the amber liquid swirling as he fights the pull. We're in a private lounge, one of the exclusive ones, hid in the city's underbelly, where the rich, reckless, and restless come to play. The lighting is low, the air thick with expensive cologne and whispered sins. Music hums in the background, something slow, seductive, but unimportant. It's me he hears now. I don't speak yet. I don't have to. The way my fingers glide along the rim of the glass, the way I tilt my head just so, letting the golden glow of the chandelier catch the warm hazel amber of my eyes. It's all deliberate, controlled. He's already leaning in, already lost in the quiet power I exude without trying. He wants to touch me. He won't. Not yet. You look like you have something to say, I murmur finally, my voice a velvet drag over his senses. He swallows hard. He does. But he doesn't know how to say it without sounding weak, so I say it for him. You want me? His breath shudders just slightly. He thinks he's playing it cool, cute. I take a slow sip, watching him over the rim of my glass, letting silence stretch between us like a taut string. His pulse flutters at his neck. If I press my lips there, I wonder if I'd feel it hammer against my tongue. He shifts in his seat. What makes you so sure? I smile then, just a little, just enough to make him second guess himself, because I can feel it. I whisper, leaning in just enough for him to catch the faintest scent of my perfume. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't be fighting it so hard. He exhales roughly. His hand twitches on the table like it wants to reach for me, but he doesn't, not yet. I take my time with him, with all of them. And then, just when he's teetering on the edge, right when his body betrays him with the smallest of movements, his knee brushing mine, his breath quickening, his lips parting, I pull away. A slow retreat, a sip of my drink, a lazy glance at my phone, as if I'm already bored, as if this moment didn't just tilt his entire world off its axis. He doesn't know it yet, but he's already mine. The Watcher. He's here again. I feel him before I see him. It's not the same as the others. He's not just another man caught in my web, not another soul slipping into my control without realizing it. He's something else, something unsettling. I take a slow breath, keeping my expression smooth as I glance across the lounge. There he is, the ally. Not mine. Not yet. His gaze is unreadable, dark and steady, watching me from across the room. He's always watching. But unlike the others, there's no visible hunger in his stare, no telltale weakness, no sign of unraveling under my presence. But I know better. He thinks he's immune, thinks he knows what he's dealing with. I almost smile. Almost. He doesn't. Not yet. Chapter 2. The first tug. I let the moment stretch, my fingers tapping lightly against the crystal glass in my hand. The ice has melted, but I don't mind. The heat in the room is the kind I prefer. Low, slow burning, thick with tension. I know he's still watching me. I don't acknowledge him right away. That would be too easy. And I don't do easy. Instead, I shift in my seat, crossing my legs again, the subtle movement deliberate. He's across the room, but I can feel the slightest shift in his energy, the way his attention sharpens when I move. Good. Let him think he's just observing. Let him think he's just curious. He's not. I pick up my phone, scanning the screen with a disinterested expression. Messages from men I don't care to entertain tonight. A few business notifications, a meeting rescheduled. I flick through them idly before setting the phone down, finally allowing myself a glance in his direction. He hasn't moved. Still seated at the bar, still nursing a drink he hasn't touched in a while, still watching. I hold his gaze this time. Not too long, just enough to let the air between us shift. His expression remains unreadable, but I see the flicker of something behind his eyes. Not hesitation, not uncertainty, calculation. I tilt my head slightly, studying him the way I study the men who cross my path, but I already know he's different. He's been different since the first time I noticed him. Always just on the outskirts, never too close, never too far. A presence, lingering in the shadows of the world, but never stepping inside. Yet, I exhale, slow, controlled. Then I decide. I raise from my seat, smooth and unhurried, allowing my dress to fall back into place as I stand. I don't look in his direction again as I turn, walking toward the exit with the kind of measured grace that forces men to watch. I can feel his eyes on me the entire time. The pull. The night air is crisp when I step outside, the city humming around me in a symphony of distant car horns, muffled conversations, and the occasional burst of laughter from the nightlife that never truly sleeps. I don't stop walking, not immediately. I know he'll follow. He won't do it right away. He's too careful for that, but he will. Around the corner, stepping into the dim glow of the street lamp, pausing just long enough to check the time. A pointless action, but it serves its purpose. I hear the door open behind me, the faint sound of footsteps. A slow smile curves my lips. I don't turn around. Not yet. Instead, I wait. A few more seconds. Let him decide if this is his choice. Then, I thought you'd keep me waiting longer, I say smoothly, my voice carrying just enough over the hum of the city. Silence. Then a low chuckle. You're the one who left first. I turn finally. He stands a few feet away, hands in his pocket, expression unreadable. Up close, he's even more intriguing. The kind of man who knows how to blend in, but never fully disappear. Sharp eyes assessing, but with an ease that suggests he's not in a rush to prove anything. Good. I don't like desperate men. I take a step closer. Not too much. Just enough to let the space between us tighten. Just enough for him to catch the faint scent of my perfume, to feel the energy shifting. He doesn't move back. Better. I've seen you before, I murmur, tilting my head slightly. But you already knew that, didn't you? His lips twitch, but he doesn't smile. I could say the same. I arch a brow, watching him. He's composed, steady, but I know what to look for. The slight shift in his breathing, the way his fingers flex subtly at his sides, the way his pupils expand just a fraction in the dim light. He's not as unaffected as he pretends to be. Nobody ever is. But unlike the others, he's not unraveling. Not yet. I take another step closer. This time he does move, but only slightly. Just a shift of weight. Not a retreat, response, not a reaction. Interesting. Are you following me, I ask? His head tilts slightly, his eyes still locked on mine. Would it matter if I was? My smile is slow, deliberate. It would matter why. He doesn't answer right away. Instead, he watches me with that same unreadable gaze, as if he's looking for something beneath the surface. He won't find it. Not yet. Finally, I exhale, a slow, measured breath. I don't follow people. I let the silence settle between us for a beat before speaking again, my voice dipping lower. Then, what do you call this? Another pause. Then, curiosity. His honesty catches me off guard. Not many men admit that. Not many even recognize when it's happening. He's aware. That much is clear. But how much does he really understand? I study him for another moment, then smile. Curiosity. I repeat, that's dangerous. His lips twitch again. Only if I don't know what I'm dealing with. I hum softly, stepping past him, just close enough that my shoulder brushes his arm. He's solid. Warm. Interesting. I don't stop as I walk away, leaving him there in the dim glow of the street lamp. Let him wonder. Let him think he's still in control. He has no idea. Not yet. Chapter 3. The game begins. He didn't follow me this time. Good. If he had, I would have been disappointed. Men who chase too soon bore me. I slip into the back seat of my car, my driver already waiting. The door clicks shut behind me, sealing me in with the quiet hum of luxury. The city fades into a blur as we pull away, neon lights reflecting against the tinted windows. I don't look back. I don't have to. I can feel him. His presence lingers in my mind, a slow pull, an unfinished thread. He's watching me even when I'm gone, thinking about me even when he tells himself he's not. I exhale, fold in my shoulders, loosening the tension that coils there. This is different. I don't like different. Different is unpredictable. And yet, I let the thought of him settle in the back of my mind, curiosity curling in my veins like slow-burning heat. He said he wasn't following me. That much was true. But he was watching. He always had been. Tangled in the web. The next time I see him, it's not an accident. Not on my end, at least. I don't chase, but I do orchestrate. I'm at another lounge, this one higher up, a rooftop overlooking the pulse of the city. A private event, invitation only, the kind where connections are made behind casual laughter and expensive glasses of whiskey. I move through the space with ease, exchanging pleasantries when necessary, ignoring them where I don't care to entertain. And then I feel it, the shift, the weight of a familiar gaze pressing against my skin. I don't look right away. Instead, I let the moment stretch, let the anticipation coil tight. When I finally lift my eyes, I find him standing near the bar, hands in his pocket, watching me. Again. But this time, something is different. This time, he knows I see him, and he doesn't look away. A slow smile curves my lips. Interesting. I take my time crossing the room, letting my presence ripple through the air like silk. Conversations quiet just slightly as I pass. A few lingering gazes trailing in my wake. I stop in front of him, tilting my head slightly. I really should start charging rent, I murmur, since you insist on occupying my space so often. His lips twitch, half amusement, half something else. Your space? I arch a brow. You tell me. He studies me, his gaze slow, deliberate. I didn't know you'd be here. Lie. I let the silence stretch between us, letting him sit in it. Finally, he exhales a soft chuckle, shaking his head slightly. All right. I hum amused. All right, what? You win. A slow smile. Oh, sweetheart, I murmur, stepping closer, just enough to tilt my chin and let my voice dip lower. I haven't even started playing yet. The first move. He doesn't flinch when I reach for his drink, plucking it from his fingers with the kind of casual ease that says I don't ask for permission. The glass is still cool when I bring it to my lips. My eyes never leave his as I take a slow sip. His jaw flexes. Barely, but I notice. I lower the glass, brushing my thumb lightly against the rim as I hand it back, but he doesn't take it. Instead, his fingers curl loosely around my wrist, just for a second. A touch that isn't forceful, isn't controlling, just deliberate. A warning, or a test. My pulse doesn't change. I let him hold me for exactly 3 seconds. Then I slide my wrist from his grasp, slow and smooth, like silk slipping through fingers. His lips part slightly, as if he's about to say something, but I don't let him. Instead, I lean in just enough for my breath to brush against his ear. Careful, I whisper. You don't want to know what happens when I decide to start playing. Then I step back. His eyes are darker when I meet them again, but I don't linger. I turn, walk away, and just like that, the game has begun. Chapter 4, Unspoken Agreements. I should start charging rent, since he insists on occupying my space so often. I sip my drink, letting the warmth slide down my throat as I lean back against the sleek bar. He hasn't moved from where he stands. Just a few feet away, his posture relaxed, yet entirely too focused. He thinks he's subtle. I know better. This isn't just curiosity anymore. It's habit. I tilt my head slightly, watching him over the rim of my glass. The dim lighting casts sharp angles across his face, highlighting the way his jaw tenses, the way his fingers flex at his sides. Something about me pulls at him, even if he doesn't fully understand it yet. I should turn this into a conversation. Ask him why he keeps showing up where I am, why he doesn't just approach me outright instead of lurking on the edges of my world like a shadow waiting for permission to exist. But I don't. Instead, I let the silence stretch. Let him sit in it. It's almost more interesting when they make the first move. Finally, after what feels like an entire minute, he exhales, shaking his head slightly. You always this entertained by watching people squirm? I smile, slow and knowing. Only the ones that pretend they're not. He chuckles low and under his breath before taking a sip of his drink. You ever consider maybe I just like the atmosphere? I hum, tilting my head. No. His lips twitch. No? No. I take another sip, my gaze never wavering. Because if it were just about the atmosphere, you wouldn't be looking at me like that. He doesn't deny it. Instead, he watches me for a moment longer, then leans in slightly, his voice dropping lower. And how am I looking at you? I set my drink down, slow and deliberate, like you just made a decision you haven't admitted to yet. The air between us tightens, shifting with something heavy and unspoken. He studies me for a beat, then exhales softly, shaking his head with a small smirk. You like doing that, don't you? Doing what? Unraveling people before they even know what's happening. I smile, running a finger along the edge of my glass. I don't unravel people, I murmur. They do that all on their own. And it's true. I don't force anyone's hand. I simply exist. They're the ones who decide what to do with it. The edge of obsession. I leave before the conversation can go any deeper. Not because I'm done playing, because I'm still setting the rules. He doesn't try to stop me, but I feel him watching. I always do. It's an unspoken agreement at this point. A push and pull, a silent war. Neither of us acknowledges. I let him linger on the thought of me. I let him sit with the weight of his own curiosity, his own slowly forming obsession. He thinks he's pacing himself. He's not. He's already caught. He just doesn't know it yet, and I have no intention on letting him realize it too soon. The thread tightens. It's been days since that last encounter, days since I've given him any reason to seek me out, any invitation to step closer. I do it intentionally. Let the space between us stretch just enough to make him notice it's there. I know what happens when something rare slips out of reach. People crave it more. So when I finally let myself be seen again, it's not by accident. The setting is different this time. A private gathering in an exclusive lounge, deep in the city's underbelly where secrets breathe and the unspoken thrives. I move through the space with ease, my presence rippling through the room like an unshaken force. And then, I feel him. Before I even see him, I know. I let it settle in my bones before lifting my gaze. And there he is, watching, waiting, wanting. I smile. Good. Now let's see what he does next. Chapter 5, Give and Take. I don't move toward him. I don't have to. The moment I acknowledge him, even with the slightest glance, the shift is already in motion. He's across the room, standing near the bar, the low golden light casting sharp shadows across his face. His drink is untouched. His posture is easy, too easy, like a man who wants to look unaffected, but is anything but. I wonder if he knows that he's already lost. That moment he noticed me, the moment he started showing up in my spaces, the moment his curiosity became need. He stepped onto my leash without ever feeling the tug. I let the moment stretch, the weight of the gaze pressing against his skin. He doesn't look away. Good. I tilt my head slightly, giving him just the faintest smirk, just enough to let the tension coil between us a little tighter. Then just as quickly I turn my attention elsewhere, as if I already dismissed him. Let him sit in it. Let him decide whether he's going to follow or stay in place. The first step. I don't have to wait long. Minutes pass, conversations swirl around me, glasses clink, and the laughter hums through the space like background music. I pretend to be engaged in a discussion with someone whose name I barely remember. And then, I feel him. Moving closer. Not rushing, not pushing, just arriving. Like it was inevitable. I don't acknowledge him at first. I let him take his place beside me, let him exist in my orbit without permission. It's bold, but not reckless. I glance at him amused. Didn't take you for the type to follow. I don't, he replies smoothly, sips his drink. I just end up where I want to be. I hum, turning my body slightly toward him. And where exactly is that? His lips twitch. Right now? Here? A simple answer. A non-answer. A challenge? I let my gaze drop slightly, trailing over the sharp cut of his jaw, the slow drag of his throat as he swallows. He's controlled, measured, but his pulse, just at the base of his neck, betrays him. Fascinating. I lift my eyes back to his, letting silence stretch between us. Then, careful, I murmur, leaning in just slightly, just enough for him to feel the warmth of my breath. He just might end up somewhere you can't leave. His eyes darken just a fraction. Amusement flickering beneath the surface. That a threat? I smile. It's a possibility. He holds my gaze for a second longer, then exhales a quiet laugh, shaking his head. You always do this, he asks, tilting his head slightly. Test people to see how long before they break? I lift the shoulder, sipping my drink. People break themselves. He studies me for a beat, then sets his drink down. Maybe. Then without hesitation, without warning, he reaches out. Not to grab, not to claim. Just a single fingertip trailing over the back of my hand, resting on the bar. A slow, deliberate touch, barely there. A response, not a reaction. I meet his gaze, my body perfectly still. I could pull away. I don't. Instead, I let the silence hang, let the moment settle, let the tension simmer just beneath the surface. Then, I turn my hand just slightly, just enough for my fingers to ghost against his. A give, a take, a choice. His breath is steady, his expression unreadable. But I know what just happened. A step forward, a shift in the game. The first real move. I smile, slow and knowing. Let's see how deep he's willing to go. Chapter 6. The sound of his name. Names hold weight. A name is the first spell ever cast on a person, shaping how they're seen, how they move through the world. A name whispered in the right ear, the right moment, can change everything. And now, I have his, Kashan. It suits him, clean, smooth, but with an edge beneath the surface, like money that never fully belongs to the person holding it, like a bet placed with just enough confidence to make you believe it's not a risk. I roll it over in my mind, tasting it, measuring its weight before I let it cross my lips. Not yet. He's earned my attention, but not my voice, not my mouth shaping the sound of his name like an invitation. Not yet. Instead, I let the silence stretch between us as I take another slow sip of my drink, the glass cool against my fingertips. Kashin hasn't moved since our last exchange, still standing beside me at the bar, watching, waiting, his patience just as calculated as his presence. I tilt my head slightly, studying him out of the corner of my eye. So, do you have a name, I murmur, setting my glass down with a soft clink. His lips twitch just slightly. That surprises you? I hum, turning my body slightly toward him, letting the dim light catch the sharp amber of my eyes. Not really. But you don't strike me as the type to give anything away for free. He exhales a quiet laugh, shaking his head. Neither do you. Touché. A slow smile curves my lips. Maybe. He watches me for a beat, as if searching for something beneath the surface. Something deeper than the carefully measured expressions I give him. I let him look. He won't find it. Not yet. His gaze flicks over me, deliberate but unhurried, before he lifts his drink to his lips. Asha. I blink, not at the name itself, but the way it sounds when he says it. The way it rolls off his tongue as if he's been waiting to use it. I arch a brow, tilting my head. You've been doing your homework. His expression doesn't change, but I see the subtle shift in his posture, the way his grip tightens just slightly around his glass. Maybe I just listen when people talk, he says. I hum softly, considering. People talk about me? His gaze is steady. People notice you. I smile, slow and knowing. And you? His lips twitch again, but this time he doesn't answer right away. Instead, he sits his drink down, mirroring my posture as he leans in slightly, just enough for his voice to dip lower. I think you already know the answer to that. The air between us thickens, stretching taut like the first thread of an unraveling knot. I study him for a long moment, the corners of my mouth curving. Careful, Kashin. His brow lifts slightly. Of what? My voice is soft, smooth as silk. Of getting too comfortable. Another shift, another ripple in the game. But he doesn't pull away. He holds my gaze steady, unreadable. I don't get too comfortable, he murmurs. I reach for my drink again, breaking the moment, letting the tension simmer beneath the surface. We'll see about that. Chapter 7. The Art of Playing Dumb. Kashin doesn't press. Smart. Most men don't know when to shut up. They get too comfortable, too eager to prove something to themselves, to me. They mistake my interest for permission, my presence for invitation. Not him. He plays it cool, lets the weight of my words settle without needing to fill the silence. I like that. Doesn't mean he's not caught. It just means he doesn't know how tight the leash is around his neck yet. I shift slightly, turning back towards the bar, picking up my drink again. He watches. I feel him watching, but I don't give him the satisfaction of looking back just yet. Instead, I focus on the way the glass feels against my fingers, the way the ice clinks when I tilt it just slightly. Little details, subtle movements, the kind that drive men insane when they realize they're fixating on them. I take a slow sip. You never said what you do. He lifts a brow. What makes you think I do anything? I smile, amused. Everyone does something, he hums, turning the glass between his fingers. You first. I expected that. I could give him an easy answer. Asha, the businesswoman, the quiet professional who handles deals with precision and plays the background when necessary. Or I could give him Savine, the performer, the seductress, the woman who commands attention without asking for it. Instead, I let the silence stretch, let him wonder which version of me he's going to get tonight. I shift slightly, angling my body just enough to let my knee brush against his. Not hard, not obvious, just there. A whisper of contact, a reminder. His jaw flexes. Gotcha. I smile slow and knowing. I do a lot of things, Kashin. He exhales a soft chuckle, shaking his head. That's not an answer. I lift a shoulder. Neither was yours. Something flickers in his gaze, something sharp, but he doesn't push. Good. I turn back to my drink, tapping my nail lightly against the glass. But if you must know, I'm in business. Business, he repeats. Voice smooth, but laced with something I can't quite place yet. That's vague. I hum. So is curiosity. He tilts his head slightly, watching me. What if I'm just observant? I arch a brow, amused. What if you're both? He doesn't deny it. Another good sign. I let the moment settle, finally giving him a little more, just enough to keep him on the line. I run things. That's all you need to know. Kashin watches me for a long moment, then nods slightly, accepting my answer for now. Then, do they know? I pause, just for a second. Interesting. Who? I ask, tilting my head slightly. His lips twitch. The men who orbit you. Do they know what they're dealing with? I hum, taking another sip before answering. They think they do. Kashin holds his gaze, his expression unreadable. And me? I smile. Then I lean in slightly, just enough to let the voice dip low, warm. You tell me. A pause. A shift. And then just like that, I pull away, letting him sit in the weight of it, letting him think. But here's the thing about men like Kashin. They always think they're in control, that they're the exception, that they're different. I wonder how long it will take before he realizes he's not. Chapter 8. The Game Beneath the Game. Kashin doesn't answer right away. Smart. Most men scramble to assert something, to insist they do know what they're dealing with, to convince themselves they're not already under my influence. They fall into the trap of needing to prove something, as if I'd ever asked them to. Not him. He watches me, his gaze steady, unreadable. It almost makes me wonder. Almost. I sip my drink waiting, letting him choose his words carefully. Then, I think. His voice is smooth, measured, deliberate, that I haven't seen enough to decide yet. A slow smile curls at the corner of my lips. An answer that isn't an answer. A move that isn't a move. That's the trick, isn't it? He thinks he's pacing himself, thinks he's keeping the upper hand by not giving too much away too soon. What he doesn't realize is, I like that. Men who come too easily bore me. Men who resist, who play the long game, who make me wait just a little longer than I expect, those are the ones who keep my attention, for a while anyway. I tilt my head slightly, watching him. Fair enough. Kashin exhaled softly, shaking his head. You do that a lot. I arch my brow. Do what? That thing. He motions vaguely toward me, smirking just slightly, where you let people think they've gotten somewhere, but really, you're just leading them in circles. I hum, amused. And here I thought you weren't ready to decide yet. His smirk deepens, just a little. I said I haven't seen enough to decide. I let the moment stretch, letting his words settle between us. Then I lean in slightly, tilting my chin just so, my voice dipping into something softer, something silkier. And how much would you like to see, Kashin? His jaw flexes, just slightly, but I notice. He schools his expression quickly, but it's too late. I already saw. I already felt the shift. He doesn't answer right away, and for a second I wonder if I pushed too soon. Then his lips part, just barely. And then a voice cuts through the space between us. Asha, there you are. The moment snaps like a thread pulled too tight. I don't react right away. Don't acknowledge the intrusion until I decide how I want to play it. Kashin just shifts slightly, his expression smoothing out into something unreadable again. I take my time, turning toward the voice. It's someone I recognize. A man I've entertained before, though never seriously. One of those who thinks he holds weight in my world, but doesn't realize how little he actually matters. I smile, slow and practiced. And here I am. He steps closer, his presence easy, confident. The kind of man who assumes space belongs to him. The kind who doesn't realize he's already out of his depth. I was hoping to steal you for a drink, he continues, his eyes flicking briefly to Kashin before settling back on me. A power move, or an attempt at one. Kashin doesn't react, doesn't shift, doesn't speak, doesn't even acknowledge the other man's presence. Interesting. I tilt my head slightly, letting the tension stretch just a little longer before I answer. Then, I'm already having one. A flick of my glass, a slow sip, a silent dismissal. The man hesitates just for a second before he chuckles, shaking his head. All right then. Maybe next time. Maybe never. I don't watch him leave. I already know he will. Instead, I focus on Kashin. He's still unreadable, still calm, but I know better now. That moment, right before we were interrupted, that pause, the fraction of a second where he almost said something, almost let something slip, it tells me everything. He's already hooked, already wondering, already fighting a pull he doesn't even fully understand yet. And now, he's going to start noticing every man who tries to take up space beside me. He's going to start watching, even more than before. Good, let him sit in it. Let him feel it settle in his bones. Let him realize he's already mine. Chapter 9, The Echo of a Name. I let the weight of the moment settle. Kashin hasn't spoken since the interruption. He's just watching, calculating, adjusting. I wonder if he realizes it yet. The shift. The way I gave him my first name. The way he felt something at the sound of it, even if he didn't fully recognize it. I wonder if he's replaying the way I said his name. The way it rolled off my tongue like something I had already claimed. I don't ask. I don't need to. I smile, finishing the last sip of my drink before setting the empty glass down. I think I'll call it a night. His brow lifts slightly. Just like that, I tilt my head considering, is there another way? He exhales a quiet chuckle, shaking his head. No, I suppose not. But there's something else beneath his voice. Something unsettled. Something unsaid. Good. Let him sit with it. I push out from the bar, smoothing my dress with an easy grace, then glance at him one last time. It was nice talking to you, Kashin. I say his name slower this time, let it linger just a little longer. He notices. I see it in the flicker of his gaze, in the way his jaw flexes, in the way his fingers drum lightly against the glass as if deciding something. But he doesn't stop me. Not tonight. I turn, walking toward the exit without hesitation, feeling the weight of his stare follow me all the way out. Let him wonder. Let him wait. Let him feel the absence of me when I'm gone. Because the next time we meet, he'll realize I was never absent at all. Just waiting. Waiting for him to pull the leash tighter without even knowing he's holding it. Chapter 10. The Absence of Me. The thing about leaving isn't just the exit. It's what lingers. I know how to make my presence felt long after I'm gone. And Kashin, he's feeling it. I know because I can sense it. The way his thoughts are circling, the way my name is probably sitting heavy on his tongue, even if he doesn't say it. He's not the type to chase. Not yet. But he's already following. He just hasn't realized it yet. I exhale slowly as I step into my car, letting the city lights blur past as we pull away from the lounge. There's a rhythm to control, a slow, deliberate beat. You can't rush it, can't tighten the leash too quickly. Not if you want them to love being bound. Not if you want them to convince themselves they chose it. I cross my legs, watching my reflection in the tinted window. The dim glow of the passing streetlights catches the sharp glint of my eyes. Tonight was a test, and he passed. Because I know exactly what's going to happen next. He's going to need another encounter. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the next day, but soon. He won't be able to help himself. And when he does, I'll be waiting. Chapter 11. The next step is his. I don't chase. That's not how the game works. Kashin doesn't realize it yet, but he's already walking toward me. Step by step, thought by thought, slowly but inevitably. I just have to let him. The next few days pass without a word between us. Not because I'm avoiding him, because I don't need to reach out. The pull is already there, coiling tighter, drawing him in whether he wants to admit it or not. I continue with business as usual, meetings, investments, deals that require my attention. My underground ventures are expanding. Money moves through my hands like water, and I let it flow exactly where I need it to. But every now and then, I feel him, like a whisper at the edge of my senses, like a presence just beyond my reach. And then, the message comes, short, simple, but the weight of it, heavy. Kashin, where will you be tonight? I smile, slow and knowing. He could have said anything. Could have made small talk, could have played it cool, but he didn't. He asked exactly what he wanted to ask. Where will you be tonight? Not can I see you, not do you want to meet up. No, he's not asking for permission. He's making a move. But what he doesn't realize is, the moment he asked the question, he was already following my lead. I let the message sit for a while. Not too long, just long enough. Then, I'll let you find out. I can almost feel his reaction to the phone, the tension, the frustration, the curiosity. I don't give him anything else. No location, no time, nothing. Let's see what he does with that. The hunt begins. The lounge tonight is different from the last one. More exclusive, darker, more intimate. The kind of place where conversations carry weight, where power lingers in the air like expensive perfume. I take my usual spot, high back seating near the far end of the bar where I can watch without being watched. The night moves slow, low murmurs, clinking glasses, a smooth jazz undertone that sets the mood. And then, I feel it. That shift in energy, the weight of a familiar presence pressing into the room. I don't turn around right away. Instead, I take a slow sip of my drink, letting my body language remain easy, unbothered. But inside, I'm smiling. Because I already know. A few minutes pass. Then, a voice, smooth and knowing, right behind me. You're really gonna make me work for this, huh? Kashin. I finally turn to face him, my eyes flicking over him slowly, deliberately. Then I smile. Did you find me, or did I lead you here? He exhales a quiet chuckle, shaking his head. I think we both know the answer to that. Oh, he's learning. Good. I tilt my head slightly, watching him, and now that you're here, he doesn't answer right away. Instead, he reaches for his drink, something dark, something strong, and takes a slow sip. Then, I think I'll stay a while. I hum, amused. Do you now? His glaze flickers something unreadable behind it. I do. The words settle between us, thick with meaning, laced with something deeper than just the surface. And for the first time I wonder, just briefly, just for a second, if maybe, just maybe, I should be careful too. Chapter 12. The Game Within the Game. I never doubt myself. I never question my control. But for the briefest moment, something in the way Kashin says I think I'll stay a while makes something flicker in the back of my mind. An unfamiliar thought, a warning. I push it aside. Instead, I smile, slow and knowing, and let my fingers trace along the rim of my glass. Then stay. It's not an invitation. It's a challenge. Kashin tilts his head slightly, watching me. There's something deliberate in the way he holds my gaze, something measured in the way he doesn't immediately react. Most men feel the silence. He lets it breathe. That's fine. I take a sip of my drink, allowing the warmth to settle, letting the weight of the moment stretch between us. Let him sit in it. Let him feel it press against his skin like something inescapable. Finally, he exhales softly, shaking his head just slightly. You do that a lot. I arch my brow. Do what? That thing where you wait for people to react first. A slow smirk tugs at the corner of my lips, and yet, here you are reacting. He chuckles under his breast, tapping his fingers lightly against the glass. Fair enough. A pause. Then, you ever get tired of being the one in control? I hum, tilting my head slightly. You ever get tired of pretending you're not already under it? His jaw flexes just slightly. Gotcha. I could stop there and let the moment settle. Let him sit with the realization. Let him feel the weight of my words. But I don't. Instead, I lean in slightly, just enough to let my voice drop into something softer, something silkier. You say control like it's a burden, I murmur, but you're still here. His lips part slightly, like he's about to say something, and then he doesn't. I watch his throat work as he swallows whatever response was about to slip free. Interesting. I lean back, satisfied. The silence stretches between us again, but this time it's different. He's different. Kashin isn't the kind of man who breaks easily, but he will eventually. They always do. And when he does, I'll be right here waiting. The first real move. I don't let him think too long. Instead, I shift the energy, tilting my glass in his direction. Tell me something, Kashin. His brow lifts slightly. What's that? I hum, tapping my nail slightly against the crystal. What's a man like you doing watching a woman like me? He exhales a soft chuckle. A woman like you? I smile, slow and knowing. You know exactly what I mean. Kashin doesn't answer right away. Instead, he studies me, his gaze slow and deliberate, trailing over my features like he's committing them to memory. Then, I don't think you like being watched, he murmurs. A statement, not a question. I tilt my head. Is that right? He nods, swirling the liquor in his glass. I think you like controlling what people see, what they think they see. But actually being watched, that's different. For the first time tonight, my smirk falters just slightly. He's subtle, barely there, but he notices. His lips twitch, just a little, like he's caught on to something he wasn't supposed to, like he's testing a boundary he didn't even know existed until now. I let the moment stretch. Then I laugh, soft, amused, unshaken. I think you know more than you do, I murmur, my voice like silk over a blade. Kashin just smiles, maybe. His gaze lingers, just long enough to make me wonder if for the first time in a long time, someone is watching me just as closely as I'm watching them. Chapter 13. Watching the Watcher. His words shouldn't linger, but they do. I don't like being watched. Wrong. I love being watched. I command attention without effort, without asking. I can feel eyes on me before I see them, feel their weight like hands pressing against my skin. What I don't like, what I don't allow, is being seen. There's a difference. And the fact that Kashin is even close to recognizing it, that's a problem, one I can't ignore. I let the tension stretch just long enough to make him wonder if he said too much. Then I shift, tilting my head slightly, my smirk back in place. That's an interesting observation, Kashin. He lifts a brow. Is it wrong? I take my time answering, letting my fingers glide along the rim of my glass. Maybe. He exhales a soft chuckle. That's not a no. I hum. And you think that matters? Kashin watches me, something unreadable flickering behind his gaze. I think everything about you matters more than you let on. Interesting. I tilt my head slightly, watching him considering. I could shut this down. I could remind him where he stands. Keep him in his place where I control every move. But something about the way he's looking at me, something about the quiet, steady weight of his attention, makes me pause. I don't like that. I don't pause. Not for anyone. Not for men who mistake curiosity for understanding. But I do. Just long enough for something to shift between us. I don't like that either. So I do what I do best. I reclaim the moment. I exhale softly, shaking my head with a slow, knowing smile. You're cute, Kashin. He blinks just slightly, caught off guard by the shift. I reach for my drink, taking a slow sip before continuing. You think you're unraveling something here. He tilts his head slightly. Am I not? I hum, setting my glass down with a soft clink. You like to think so, wouldn't you? Kashin watches me for a moment longer, then shakes his head smirking. You're impossible. I smile. And yet, here you are. He chuckles under his breath, his eyes still locked onto mine. Yeah, I'm here. That's the thing about men like him. They always think they're making the choice, that they're the only ones deciding when to show up, when to engage, when to step closer. But the moment they start trying to understand me, the moment they convince themselves they want to, that's when I know. I've already won. And Kashin, he's already too deep to see it. The unspoken truth. We stay like that for a while, a silent understanding between us. He's learning me, and I'm letting him think he is. That's fine. That's part of the game. But there's one thing he doesn't realize. He's not studying me. I'm watching him. And if he keeps digging, keeps pressing, I might have to remind him, not everything you find was meant to be uncovered. Chapter 14, The Game Deepens. The silence between us isn't empty. It's charged. Kashin doesn't push, doesn't rush to fill it. He's still watching, still reading between the lines, still trying to figure out what exactly he stepped into. That's fine. Let him wonder. Let him feel the shift in the air, the way the weight of my presence lingers, the way I let him sit in his own curiosity without giving him a single answer. I exhale softly, turning slightly, my fingers trailing along the rim of my glass. You're thinking too much. Kashin tilts his head slightly, and you're not thinking at all. I smile, slow and knowing. I don't have to. He hums, watching me. Must be nice. Is it? I lift my gaze to his, tilting my head slightly. You should try it sometimes. His lips twitch, just slightly. Maybe I will. I arch a brow, amused. Doubt it. A chuckle slips from his lips, low and under his breath. Why is that? I shift, leaning in slightly, just enough to let my voice drop into something softer, something silkier. Because you like this. His jaw flexes. I see it. I feel it. The way my words settle into him, the way they unravel something just beneath the surface, something he hasn't even admitted to himself yet. I let the moment stretch, let the tension coil between us like a thread pulled tight. Then I lean back, taking a slow sip of my drink. I don't say anything else. I don't need to, because in this moment he knows, and that's enough, for now. The next move is mine. Kashin doesn't follow me when I leave. That's good. It means he's learning. It means he knows, whether consciously or not, that I don't do clingy, I don't do desperate, and I don't reward men who chase too soon. But I know he's thinking about me. I feel it. Lingering in the space I left behind, he's hooked. He just doesn't know how deep the line goes yet. I slide into my car, crossing my legs as the door shuts behind me. The city lights blur past as we pull away, the quiet hum of the night settling into my bones. I could let this unfold slowly. Could wait for him to make the next move, but that's not how this works. Not with him. No, with Kashin, and I'll be the one deciding when he pulls the leash tighter, and I think it's time to test just how far he's willing to go. Chapter 15, Smoke and Mirrors. The underground world breathes differently. Up top, people wear their masks, polished, poised, pretending. Down here, in the shadows of the city, things shift, rules bend, and I like it that way. I settled into my usual spot in the back of a private lounge, an exclusive space nestled beneath a speakeasy only certain people know exists. The lighting is low, the music thick and sensual, the air tinged with the faintest trace of indulgence. A rolled blunt rests between my fingers. Slow burning, fragrant, not for show, for me. The glass beside me glows amber. A sip left untouched for now. I don't rush things. I let the night stretch, let the city move around me at its own pace. I inhale deeply, letting the smoke fill my lungs before exhaling slow, controlled. The world doesn't spin, it just shifts, settles into something smoother, something softer. Kashin doesn't know about this part of me, not yet. Not that it's his business. He's still learning the surface, still watching the version of me I allow him to see. But I wonder, if he ever saw me like this, in my element, relaxed but not careless, enjoying myself without pretense, would he still think he has me figured out? I smirk to myself, tapping ash into the tray. Probably not. That's what makes the game so fun. Nobody really knows me, not until I decide they should. And Kashin, he's still trying to earn that privilege. I take another hit, letting my body sink into the moment, letting the night wrap around me like silk. Somewhere above ground, the world moves on. But down here, I exist how I want to, unbothered, unrushed, and entirely in control. Chapter 16, A Control Burn. The underground world slows time, or maybe it's just me. The weight of the blunt in my hand is familiar, comforting. The slow rhythm of my breath, The way the smoke curls and fades into the air, it all feels like a ritual, a moment for me, not for the people who think they know me, not for the ones who watch from a distance, waiting to see what I'll do next, and definitely not for him. Kashin doesn't belong in this part of my world. Not yet, but that doesn't mean he's not on my mind. I exhale slow and controlled, tapping Ash into the tray beside me. It's been 3 days. 3 days since I left him sitting in his own thoughts, since I watched realization flicker behind his eyes, since I walked away knowing he'd follow eventually. I didn't reach out. I didn't check to see if he was looking for me. I didn't have to, because I already know he is. He's just waiting for the moment I decide to let him find me again. Tonight, I might be in the mood to make him work for it. Smoke and signals. The first sign that I've been found is the shift. It's subtle, but I feel it. The weight of the unfamiliar presence pressing against the edges of my awareness. Not a threat, just a disturbance in the rhythm. I take another slow inhale, flicking my gaze across the room. There, standing at the entrance, scanning the space like he's not looking for someone, like he just happened to end up here. Kashin. I smirk to myself, amused. He's good. I'll give him that. Not many men take their time like this. Not many know how to follow the scent without stepping too far too fast. But I know the truth. He didn't just happen to end up here. He's been tracking me, even if he doesn't want to admit it. I let him wait. I let him feel the tension. Let him wonder if I'll acknowledge him or if I'll let him stew in his own curiosity a little longer. Then I tilt my head just slightly, just enough for my eyes to meet his. And that's all it takes. A flicker of something sharp passes through his gaze. Something like satisfaction. Like he knew he'd find me. Like he was always going to. Interesting. The moment stretches. Kashin doesn't move right away. Smart. Instead, he watches me. His gaze flickering between the blunt in my hand and the drink beside me, the way my body is draped across the leather seating, relaxed but not careless. I wonder what he sees. I wonder if he's recalibrating, if he thought he knew who I was but now realizing there's more. A slow, lazy smirk tugs at the corner of my lips. I lift the blunt to my lips, taking another slow inhale before holding his gaze as I exhale. Smooth, controlled, a silent invitation, or maybe a test. His jaw flexes just slightly. A flicker of something in his eyes, curiosity, intrigue maybe, even a little frustration, because he thought he was catching up, and now he realizes I was always steps ahead. Good, let him feel it. Let him decide what to do next, because all of his calculated moves, for all of his patience, Kashin is still playing my game, and I want to see how far he's willing to go. Chapter 17. Come closer if you dare. Kashin doesn't move right away, but I see it. The flicker of hesitation, the way his fingers flex at his sides, like he's debating whether to close the distance between us or let the moment stretch even longer. He's curious. And curiosity? That's how it starts. That's how men fall. I take another slow drag, the burn smooth against my lungs, the heat curling against my fingers. I let the smoke sit before exhaling, deliberate, unbothered. Let him watch. Let him feel the tension build between us. Let him wonder if he's welcome or if he's overstepping. I want to see what he does next, because every choice he makes, every step closer, is one he thinks belongs to him. But I know the truth. I'm pulling the leash inch by inch, and he still doesn't realize it's wrapped around his throat. The distance closes. Finally, he moves. Not too fast, not too eager, but closer, controlled, measured. He stops just in front of me, his gaze flicking from the blunt of my fingers to my drink, then back to my eyes. You always this hard to find, he asks. I smirk. Depends on who's looking. His lips twitch, but he doesn't smile. And me? I exhale slowly, tapping Ash into the tray. You're here, aren't you? His jaw flexes. A tail. Good. I let the silence stretch, let the weight of my words settle between us. Then, I shift just slightly. My knee brushes his leg, barely, just enough, just to see. And he doesn't step back. Interesting. Test the water. I lift the blunt to my lips again, inhaling deep before tilting my head, exhaling the smoke just beside him. A silent offer, a question. Without thinking, he reaches. Not for me, for the blunt. Oh. I smirk, lifting a brow as I watch his fingers brush mine, slow, deliberate. I don't let go immediately. I make him wait. Then just as smoothly, I release it. His fingers wrap around it, but I don't watch what he does next. I already know he's going to take a hit. What I'm watching for is how he does it. A game of control. Kashin lifts the blunt to his lips, inhaling deep, steady. He doesn't cough, doesn't hesitate. Interesting. He exhales slow, watching me the entire time. I smirk. Comfortable? He hands the blunt back, tilting his head slightly. Should I not be? I hum, tapping the ash. Most men aren't. Kashin watches me, his gaze dark, unreadable. Most men don't realize they're in deep until it's too late. Oh, I exhale slow, smiling just slightly. So he's catching on. Not fully, not completely, but enough. I tilt my head, studying him. Are you? His eyes flicker, something unreadable behind them. Then he smirks. I guess I'll find out. I chuckle softly, shaking my head. You think you're holding your own? Kashin leans in slightly, his voice dropping just enough. Maybe I am. I let the silence stretch, let the space between us tighten. Then I smile, slow, knowing, and I don't say a word, because the best way to remind a man who's really in control is to let him think he is, for now. Chapter 18, Unfinished Business. Kashin thinks he's comfortable. That's cute. He's sitting across from me now, relaxed, arms draped across the back of the booth like he belongs here, like he hasn't been spending days trying to find me, like the tension humming between us isn't an invisible thread pulling tighter with every passing second. I let him have this moment, let him think he's settling into something, that he's matching my energy, but he's not even close. I take a slow sip of my drink, licking the last drop from my lips before setting the glass down, letting the silence stretch. You're quiet tonight, I murmur. Kashin exhales a soft chuckle, shaking his head. I'm thinking. I arch a brow, amused. About what? His gaze flickers slow and deliberate, from my fingers tracing the rim of the glass up to my lips before locking onto my eyes. You. The word settles between us, heavier than it should be. He doesn't say it casually, doesn't throw it out as a simple answer. No, he means it. He's been thinking about me. A lot. I smirk, tapping my nail against the glass. And what exactly have you figured out? Kashin leans in slightly, his elbow resting on the table, his voice dropping just enough to force me to lean in a fraction to hear him. That you're used to people giving you exactly what you want. I hum, considering. That's not a revelation. Try again. His lips twitch. That you don't let people see you unless you want them to. Better. I don't confirm or deny. I just tilt my head slightly, watching him, waiting to see if he really has something worthwhile to say or if he's just enjoying the sound of his own voice. Then, I also figured out that you like control, he continues. Voice smooth, calculated, but not in the way most people think. I tap ash from the blunt between my fingers, exhaling slowly. And how do most people think? They assume control is power, about making people do what they want. I hum, pretending to consider it. And you don't think that's true? His gaze sharpens just slightly. I think you don't care about forcing people to do anything. I think you like it when they do it willingly. When they convince themselves it was their idea all along. I pause. Not because he's wrong, but because for the first time, he's closer than I expected him to be. Interesting. I lean back, smirking. You think you figured me out? Kashin doesn't move, doesn't flinch. No, he says, not yet. And that earns him a little more of my attention, because he's not cocky enough to assume he's won, but he's not naive enough to believe he hasn't gotten further than most. I lift the blunt to my lips, inhaling slow before exhaling a thin stream of smoke between us. So, what do you want, Kashin? A challenge, a warning, an invitation? He doesn't look away, doesn't pretend to misunderstand. Instead, he reaches across the table, taking the blunt from my fingers without asking, pressing it to his lips like he's earned it. Then he exhales, watching me through the haze. And when he finally speaks, his voice is low, steady, and laced with something dark. I think you want to see how deep this goes. I smile, slow, dangerous, because he has no idea. Not yet. Chapter 19, letting him think he chose this. Kashin wants to see how deep this goes, how deep I go. He says it like a man standing at the edge of something vast, looking down, convincing himself that stepping forward is still his decision. I let him believe that, for now. I take the blunt back from him, my fingers grazing his just slightly, just enough to remind him that this moment, this space between us is still mine to dictate. I bring it to my lips, inhaling slow, letting my eyes linger on his just a fraction longer than necessary. Then I lean back, exhaling through my nose, the smoke curling between us. So, you want to go deeper? I murmur, voice smooth as silk. His gaze flickers, that same unreadable thing lurking beneath the surface. If you'll let me. If I let him. I smile. It's subtle, a barely there curve of my lips, but I know he sees it. Men like Kashin always see the things I don't say out loud. It makes them interesting. That's what makes them dangerous. Because they watch, they learn, and if I'm not careful, they might think they actually understand. I tilt my head, studying him. What exactly do you think you're asking for? He leans in, mirroring my posture. A chance. I arch a brow. At what? His lips twitch. Figuring you out. I chuckle underneath my breath, shaking my head. That's where you're wrong, Kashin. He lifts a brow. Oh. I flick ash into the tray, exhaling softly before meeting his gaze head on. You're not asking for a chance to figure me out, I murmur. You're asking for permission to try. Pause. A beat of silence stretching between us. Then, something shifts in his expression. Not a smirk, not amusement. Something real. Something like understanding. I wonder if he realizes how rare this is. I wonder if he knows that it almost makes me want to give him what he's asking for. Almost. But not yet. I reach for my drink, lifting it slowly, swirling the dark liquid before taking a sip. Careful, Kashin. His jaw flexes slightly, his fingers drumming against the table. What? I lower my glass, letting the weight of the gaze settle into him. If thinking you're the one making the decisions here. His lips part slightly, as if he's about to say something, but I don't let him. I rise from my seat, smooth and unhurried, adjusting my dress with an ease that forces him to track the movement. Then I lean in just slightly, just enough that my breath brushes his ear. Let's see how deep you really want to go. I straighten, then my fingers trail along the table before I turn and walk away. Not in a rush, not looking back. Let him sit with that. Let him follow. Because whether he realizes that or not, he's already under the leash. And now, I get to decide just how tight to pull it. Chapter 20. Following the thread. I don't look back. I don't have to. I already know he's watching. I already know that every step I take away from him is pulling him closer. Men like Kashin, the ones who think they're in control, the ones who believe they're calculated, the ones who convince themselves they're different, they never realize they've already lost. Not until it's too late. And Kashin, he's still telling himself he's making the decisions here. That if he follows, it's because he chose to. I let him have that, for now. The hallway outside the lounge is dimly lit, the air thick, with low music and the murmur of voices that don't belong to me. My heels echo softly as I move unhurried, every step precise. I can feel him following. Keeping distant, but never losing sight. Good. I lead him toward a side entrance, away from the noise, where the city hums just beyond the exit. The moment I step outside, the cool night air wraps around me, the scent of damp pavement, the distant wail of a siren, the rhythmic bass of the underground world beneath the city. It's all alive. The door clicks shut behind me, and I wait a few seconds, long enough for the tension to build. Then, the door opens again, and there he is. Testing the tension. Kashin stops just inside the doorway, leaning against the frame, watch me like he's still trying to figure out what move to make next. Like he knows whatever happens here changes things. I smirk, tilting my head slightly. Took you long enough. His lips twitch, but his gaze stays steady. I don't rush things. I arch a brow. That right? He nods, stepping further into the night. I let him play out. I exhale softly, shaking my head. You think you do. Kashin doesn't respond right away. Instead, he moves closer. Slow, deliberate, until he's just near enough, not touching, not reaching, just close. He's watching me, studying me, like he's measuring something, like he's waiting. I let the silence stretch, let the city fill the space between us, let the tension cool just tight enough to feel. Then, I tilt my chin up, my voice barely above a murmur. You always this careful? His jaw flexes just lightly. I pick my moments. I hum, considering. And this is one of them? He doesn't move, doesn't break eye contact. Then finally, yes. The word lands heavier than it should, like he's admitting something, like he knows what this means. I should make him wait longer. Should let the moment simmer. But I don't. Instead, I step closer, just enough to make the space between us non-existent. Close enough that I feel the heat of his breath against my lips. Close enough that if he wants to make a move, he'll have to be the one to break first. And Kashin, he's thinking about it. I can see it in the way his fingers twitch, the way his throat works as he swallows whatever he's about to say, the way his breath hitches just slightly. I smirk, slow, knowing. Then I whisper, careful, Kashin. A pause. Then, why? His voice is lower now, rougher. I let my lips barely graze the edge of his jaw as I exhale. Because once you take that next step, I lean in, letting the moment hang, letting him feel the gravity of what's about to happen. Then, I pull back, smirking, turning away, walking off into the night. And this time, I let him chase. Chapter 21. The chase. I don't rush. There's no need, because the moment I stepped away, the second I put space between us, I felt it. The pull, the hesitation, the inevitable decision. Kashin is still standing there, still weighing something in his mind, still trying to convince himself that this isn't what it looks like, that he's not chasing me, that he's just following out of curiosity, that he still has a choice. But we both know the truth. He made his choice the second he followed me through the door. I hear the footsteps behind me, not hurried, not desperate, present, and that's enough. The city unfolds in front of me, dimly lit streets, the hum of life still pushing through the air, the quiet rhythm of something unseen moving beneath the surface. I lead him away from the noise, down a side street that most people overlook. The air is thick with secrets, and Kashin, he's walking straight into them. A moment suspended. I slow, just enough for him to catch up, just enough to make it feel like it was his idea. And when I finally stop, when I turn to face him, he's already watching me, already locked in. I let a slow smile curve my lips, tilting my head slightly. You always this persistent? Kashin exhales softly, shaking his head. I could ask you the same thing. I arch your brow. You think I'm chasing you? His gaze flickers over my face, my lips, the way I'm standing, just close enough to make him feel off balance. No, he says finally. I think you're leading. I hum, and yet, here you are. He doesn't respond right away. Instead, he takes a step closer. Oh, interesting. I stay still, watching him, letting him make his move, or at least the one he thinks belongs to him. The space between us tightens. Kashin tilts his head slightly, his voice lower now. Tell me something. I let my gaze flicker over his face. That depends. On. I smirk. What are you asking? His jaw flexes, but his eyes never leave mine. How long do you usually make them wait? I hum, amused. Who said you were waiting? His lips twitch, but there's something else in his expression now. Something curious, something calculating. Like he's starting to realize that this isn't just about desire, that this isn't just a game, that whatever is happening between us is something deeper, something dangerous. He exhales, shaking his head slightly, like he's trying to clear it. You're something else, Asha. I smile. I know. Then just to test the tension, just to see if he really understands, I reach out with my fingers, ghosting along his wrist, barely a touch, just enough to make his breath hitch. And then I pull away, letting the absence settle in, letting him feel the loss of it. I tilt my head. Still think you're leading? Kashin doesn't answer, but he doesn't need to. I can see it now. The moment he realizes he's in deep, the moment he realizes he can't just walk away, the moment he understands that whatever this is, it's already too late to stop it. And I smile, because that's exactly what I wanted. Chapter 22. Too late to turn back. Kashin knows. He knows, but he won't say it. Not yet. He won't admit that he's past the point of no return, that every move he's made has been a reaction to me, that this game, if it even is a game anymore, is being played on my terms. That's fine. I don't need him to say it. I already feel it. The air between us is thick, charged, the kind of silence that speaks. I could end here. I could turn and walk away, leave him to wrestle with whatever it is he's feeling, but that's not what I want. Not yet. I take a slow breath, my lips parting slightly as I watch him, letting the weight of my gaze settle into his skin like a whisper against his throat. Then I step closer. Not much. Just enough to make him hesitate, to make his fingers twitch like he's resisting the urge to reach for me. I smirk. You always this quiet? Kashin exhales, his jaw clenching. Not usually. I hum, tilting my head slightly. Then what's stopping you? His eyes flicker over my lips, my throat, the rise and fall of my breath. You. The word is low, rough, like it scraped against something raw inside him before it made it past his lips. I smile, slow and knowing. Good. His nostrils flare slightly, like he's trying to keep himself from reacting, like he knows that if he gives in too easily, too soon, he's done for. I let the moment stretch, let him sit in the tension. Then I shift again, my voice soft but firm. Come with me. It's not a request, and he knows it. Kashin doesn't hesitate, doesn't question, doesn't ask where we're going or why. He just nods, and that's it. That's all I need to know. The leash tightens. The city swallows us as I lead him down a quieter street, where the glow of the street lights feel dimmer, more intimate. He walks beside me, his body radiating heat, tension. I can feel the way he's watching me, studying, like he's trying to make sense of something he already knows doesn't have an answer. I let him wonder, let him question, because this time, he realizes the truth, that the wondering is what keeps him coming back. It'll be too late. It already is. We stop in front of a building, discreet, unmarked, but mine. A private space, a part of my world that most people never get to see. I slide a key from my pocket, unlocking the door, stepping inside first, knowing he'll follow. And he does. When the door shuts behind him, sealing him inside, this moment inside this space, inside me, I turn. And I smile, because now it's time to see just how far he's willing to fall. Chapter 23, No Escape. The door clicks shut behind him, soft, final. Kashin doesn't react, not outwardly, but I feel the shift. The way his breath catches just lightly, the way his stance tightens, the way something in him, instinct maybe, whispers that this is different, that this isn't like before, that he's inside my world now, and there's no getting out. Not that he wants to, not yet. I don't rush, I don't speak, I just watch. Let him absorb the space. Let him take in the low lighting, the smooth leather seating, the walls lined with subtle luxury, rich but not loud, comfortable but not casual, a space that belongs to me, a space where I decide what happens. And Kashin, he's standing in the middle of it, trying to decide what that means. I tilt my head slightly, watching the way his fingers flex at his sides, resisting something. Maybe the urge to reach for me, maybe the need to run. Not that I'd let him, not that he'd even make it to the door. I smile, slow and knowing. You good? His gaze snaps to mine, sharp, cautious, like he's just now realizing the walls are closing in. I step closer, just enough, not touching, not yet. His jaw flexes. I'm good. Lie. He's on edge, and not because he's afraid. No, it's worse than that. He's intrigued. He's drawn, and he doesn't know why. I let the silence stretch, let him sit in it, let him feel the weight of the leash tightening. Then, you sure? I murmur. Another step. His breath hitches. The muscles in his neck go taut, like he's fighting something, and I love it. I love the moment before a man realizes he's already fallen. Because this is when he fights at the hardest. And Kashin, he's fighting. I reach out, slow, deliberate, my fingers trailing the edge of his collar. A whisper of a touch, barely there. But I feel the way he reacts, the way his breath stumbles, the way his body looks up like he's trying not to move, not to respond, like he knows the second he does, he's mine. I smirk. I don't think you're as good as you say you are. His throat works as he swallows, his fingers twitch, and I know, he's on the edge of something, standing at the brink of a decision he never saw coming. I lean in, my voice just above a whisper. Tell me to stop. Kashin stills. A breath, a hesitation, a moment where he could say it, could end this before it really begins, but he doesn't. His hands, the ones that were fisted at his side seconds ago, come up slow, fingers grazing the bare skin of my arms, testing, like he's waiting for me to pull away, but I don't. I don't move. I don't rush. I let him make this choice. I let him think it's still his move to make. Then he exhales slow, controlled, and gives me the answer I already knew was coming. I won't. And just like that, the leash tightens, and he's mine. Chapter 24, the moment he falls. There it is. The slip. The moment where he stops resisting, where his logic, his restraint, his carefully measured patience, all of it crumbles under the weight of what's happening between us. I feel it in the way his fingers tighten on my skin, in the way his breath stutters as I lean in just slightly, just enough to let him feel the heat between us. He's waiting for me, waiting to see what I'll do next, waiting to see if I'll keep pulling him in, or if I'll step back and leave him standing there breathless, half lost, aching. He doesn't realize that decision was never his to make. I smirk, tilting my head, letting my lips hover just beside his ear. You always this easy? His jaw flexes, his fingers twitching against my skin. I'm not easy. I hum, amused. No? His breath hitches as I let my lips graze just under his jaw. Barely. Not a kiss. Not yet. Just a touch. A tease. A test. His hands slide lower, gripping my waist, his fingers digging in like he's trying to ground himself, trying to hold on to something before he lets go completely. I smirk against his skin. Could have fooled me. His breath is rough, uneven. You're pushing me. I know. I let my nails scrape lightly down the back of his neck, feeling the way he shudders, the way he tenses, the way his grip on my waist tightens like he's trying to decide if he should pull me closer or push me away. I already know what he'll choose. He already knows too. Because this isn't control. This isn't a game anymore. This is him giving in. His lips are so close now, so close. I can feel the heat of his breath against my mouth, feel the hesitation still clinging to the space between us, like he's waiting for permission. like he still thinks he needs it. I smirk, tilting my head. Go ahead, Kashin. His breath catches. I won't stop you. That's all he needs. Because in the next breath, in the next second, his lips crash against mine. And just like that, he's gone, falling, completely mine. Chapter 25, The Kiss That Changes Everything. The second his lips crash into mine, I feel it. That moment where hesitation dies, where whatever restraint he was holding onto shatters in the space between us. He's not careful anymore, not calculated, not thinking, and that's what I wanted. I let him lose himself, let him press me back against the wall, his hand sliding down my waist, gripping, holding like he needs to. Like if he doesn't, he might fall apart. I smirk against his lips. Oh, Kashin, you already have. His kiss is rough, hungry, the kind of hunger that's been building, the kind that's been sitting just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to break free. I let him have his moment, let him think he's calming something, that he's finally getting what he wants. But the truth, I own this. I own him. I deepen the kiss just slightly, enough to make his breath hitch, enough to make his fingers dig into my hips. Then I pull away, slow, deliberate, leaving him chasing the space I took from him. His eyes are darker now, his chest rising and falling like he's struggling to catch up with himself. I smirk, brushing my thumb along his jaw, feeling the tension, the heat, the way he's waiting for what I'll do next. He thinks he's ready. He's not. I lean in, my lips just barely grazing his ear, and I whisper, "You're gonna regret that." His breath stumbles, but before he can speak, before he can ask what the hell that means, I push away from the wall, straightening my dress, smoothing my hands over my hips, like I wasn't just pressed up against him seconds ago, like I didn't just pull him into something he'll never escape. His jaw flexes, his fingers twitch at his sides, like he's trying to resist the urge to pull me back in. I let him sit in it, let him feel the shift. The way the kiss he initiated just cost him everything. Then I smile, slow, knowing, and I turn toward the door, leaving him standing there, unsure, unsteady, and already too far gone, because this was just the beginning. Chapter 26, The Beginning of the End. I don't rush, I don't run, I just walk away. And I know. Kashin is still standing there, staring, probably trying to catch up with himself, trying to make sense of what just happened, trying to figure out why. Why does this feel like more than a kiss? Why does he feel like something just shifted? Why does he feel like he's already lost? Because he is. I smiled to myself, stepping out into the night, the cool air wrapping around me, the city still alive and buzzing underneath the surface. I don't have to turn around to know he's still inside, watching me leave. Let him feel it. Let him realize, no matter what he does next, no matter how hard he tries to regain control, he won't. Not with me, not anymore. The echo of me. I go home, not because I need to, but because I want to let this sit, let him marinate in it, because I know him now. I know he's already replaying it in his mind over and over, obsessing over every second, the way I kissed him back, but I didn't let him keep it, the way I pulled away first, the way I whispered that warning in his ear, like a secret he doesn't understand yet. Kashin is used to knowing where he stands, but with me, he has no footing. I step inside my apartment, exhaling softly as I close the door behind me, already feeling the heat of what I set in motion, because now he's going to chase. He's going to want answers. He's going to come looking. And when he does, I'll be waiting. Because this isn't just about control anymore. This is about power. And I'm not done testing him yet. Chapter 27. The pull he can't escape. Kashin doesn't sleep. I know he doesn't. Because men don't sleep when they feel like they've lost control. When something shifts, they don't understand how or why. He probably spent the night staring at his ceiling, tossing, turning, running over every second of what happened between us, what it meant, what I meant. I exhale, stretching out across my couch, feeling satisfied. Because this, the tension, the obsession, the unraveling, this is what I do best. I don't force anyone's hand. I just let them walk right into my grasp. And Kashin, he ran. He just doesn't know it yet. The message. I know he's going to break first. I know he's going to reach out, but I don't expect it to happen so soon. My phone vibrates on the table beside me, and I don't even have to check it to know who it is. Kashin. I smirk, reaching for it, letting my fingers hover over the screen for just a second before I finally look. Kashin. I smirk, reaching for it, letting my fingers hover over the screen for just a second before I finally look. Kashin. You knew what you were doing last night. I hum, amused. Of course I did. I type back slow, deliberate. Did I? Seconds pass. Then, Kashin. Yeah, you did. I tilt my head, biting my lip. He's feeling it. The frustration, the confusion, the want. I decided to push just a little. And what exactly did I do, Kashin? I know he won't say it right out. I know he won't admit that he's just been thinking about it nonstop, that he can't get me out of his head. I sip my drink waiting. Then, Kashin, you're enjoying this, aren't you? A slow smirk spreads across my lips. I don't answer right away. I let him sit with it, let him feel the weight of my silence. Then I type, slow and smooth. More than you know. And I know, wherever he is right now, Kashin just cursed under his breath because he's in too deep. And there's no escaping me now. Chapter 28, The Unraveling Begins. I know what comes next. I can feel it. Kashin is past the point of control now, past the point of pretending he can walk away, and that's exactly where I wanted him. He thought he could pace himself, thought he could play it safe, keep his emotions measured, but now he's reaching, grasping, trying to understand what the hell I've done to him. His last message is sitting in the phone, unread. Kashin, tell me where you are. Not can I see you? Not I want to talk? No, he's past asking. Now he's demanding, and that makes me smile. Because it means he's feeling it. The lack of me, the void I left behind when I walked away. I sip my drink, tapping my nails lightly against the glass, considering my next move. Let him sit in it, make him wait, or do I pull him in tighter? I exhale, tilting my head, my smirk slow and knowing as I finally type. You sure that's what you want? The response comes fast. Kashin, you already know the answer. A slow hum rumbles in my chest. He's spiraling. And when men spiral, they slip. They get reckless. They make mistakes. Good. I rise from my seat, smoothing my hands down from the curve of my dress before sending him one final message. Come find me. Then I turn my phone off and wait. The moment he snaps. He finds me faster than I expect. Too fast. The moment he steps into the lounge, I know he's different tonight. There's no hesitation. No more watching from a distance. No more waiting for me to pull the strings. No. This time, he's already moving. Straight toward me. Eyes locked, jaw tight, steps measured, like a man who just realized he lost something. Or worse, that he never had it to begin with. I smirk, letting my body relax into the leather, letting him close the distance. He stops just in front of me, looking down, his breath heavy, controlled, like he's holding something back, something dangerous, something he can't afford to let slip. I tilt my head, slow and deliberate. You look tense. His jaw clenches. I love this. The way he's trying so hard to stay composed, the way I know he's falling. He exhales, steady but sharp. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I lift a shoulder. A little. His fingers twitch. Like he wants to touch me. Like he knows he shouldn't. I smirk, leaning in slightly, just enough for my breath to brush against his throat. Go ahead, Kashin. His muscles lock. My smile deepens. Say what's on your mind. I feel his breath hitch. Feel the way he's holding himself back. Then he speaks. And the words change everything. I know what you're doing. I freeze. Not enough for him to see it, but enough to feel it. My lips part, my smirk still there, but just slightly weaker, just slightly off. He notices. His gaze flickers, something sharp beneath the surface. You think I don't? His voice is low, measured, different. My nails tap against my glass. Stay calm. Control the moment. Control him. I smile, slow and lazy. And what exactly do you think I'm doing? Kashin leans in. Close enough that if anyone were watching, they'd think this was intimacy. But I know better. And now, so does he. He exhales, his voice smooth. You're playing me. A pause, a shift, a crack in the game. My heart slows. Not in fear, not in panic, but in calculation. Because now I have a decision to make. Admit it, deny it, flip it. What's the move? I watch his face, the tension in his jaw, the quiet storm in his eyes. And then I laugh, soft, sweet, deadly. I lean in, brushing my lips just beside his ear. And what if I am? His breath catches, his fingers flex at his sides, and in that moment, I know he's mine. And even if he knows the truth, even if he sees the leash, he still won't leave because he can't, because I won't let him, because he doesn't want to. And that's the part that will destroy him. End of Book 1. Preview of Book 2, Her Invisible Leash, The Breaking Point. Kashin thought he had time. Time to figure her out, time to regain control, time to shake whatever this was before it swallowed him whole. He was wrong, because time doesn't exist when you're already caught. Chapter 1. A Man on the Edge. Kashin hadn't seen Asha in 3 weeks, not since that night, not since her last words, the one still whispering through his head like a damn ghost. And what if I am? She had played him, and worse, she had let him know it. He should have walked away, should have let her go, but he couldn't. She was everywhere. In his head, in his skin, in his damn soul. And now he was standing outside of a lounge he wasn't supposed to know she was in, waiting. For what? He didn't know. To confront her, to demand something he didn't even understand himself, to see if she still had that damn smirk on her lips when she looked at him. He exhaled sharply, rolling his shoulders, trying to shake whatever this was before it consumed him whole. Then, the door swung open, and there she was, Asha, looking just as untouchable as she had that night, except now she was on another man's arms.
Reese the Quiller is a storyteller who writes with power, passion, and an undeniable edge, with a talent for blending psychological intrigue and seduction. She crafts stories that pull readers deep into a world where control, obsession, and desire